Hello, hello, hello. God's eagle eyes, the chosen ones. Hmm. How you all doing this evening? This is my next video on this Friday, the 11th of October, 2024. And I know it's after 10 o'clock. This has been a busy day. I'm so grateful. It's been a busy day. Please, when you get a chance, check out my other videos and the other one that I just did before then. If you're 50 and over, what are you waiting for? We want to hear your story. Okay? You can also be a YouTuber content creator. Don't be worrying about you don't have no makeup and your hair ain't fixed and this and that and stuff. See my teeth? Say it in every video. I gotta get my teeth fixed. I've been homeless for 3 years before I got my senior living. Um, I had on my wigs but before then I was wearing some crochet. I cut them out because every 2 years I'm gonna recut it again, cut my hair so it can grow really fresh. And I mean, we all got stories. And plus, we'll really top it off. I'm an advocate for mental health as I am living with bipolar 2 disorder. I have to take medicine. I was diagnosed at 50. I'm 58. And I have to take the meds because of to keep my head, keep my brain chemically balanced because I can tell the difference. So, welcome to the hookup dating app video. The hookup. That's what I said. The hookup. I gotta be careful what I say, whatever. So I know how many of you all have been on the dating apps and Facebook dating app. I'm just now on that. I've heard about it all a while. I didn't know where it was at, but okay, I'm just now checking it out. Been on there, I guess, going on 2 weeks. And I've been on a whole lot of other dating apps for different years and shut them down in 2 weeks. Now, some people I see they can get on there, and I'm telling you, I guess congratulations. Congratulations. Y'all met y'all Boaz and Mr. Virtual Wife and all of that. And, you know, I mean, that's wonderful. That is really wonderful. So I'm not going to hold you long because the first uh, video was 50 minutes. I've had a busy day just making content and everything. So I want to get on this hookup. I'm just going to be really vulnerable and authentic with you, okay? We're talking grown folk stuff, okay? Now, I already labeled it for the grown people, 50 and over. Well, be grown, they say 18 or whatever, but 30 is good, 30. Anyway, I don't know what the age is, but anyway, we're talking some grown stuff, no children. Um, of course, I'm single. I've been married twice, divorced twice. Um, with my second husband, we worked together at a gospel radio station. Um, It was just in Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta, born and raised in Atlanta. He was from Tennessee, and we met at the radio station. And I I was homeless then. Okay, I was homeless then. I do have three grown children, three grandchildren, and but at the time when I met my ex-husband, my second ex-husband, my children end up in foster care. Uh, my 14-year-old son and I, which is 37 now, we all are going through a lot of healing because as I'm gonna do another video this weekend about I take full accountability. I was diagnosed at 50, okay? But I didn't know I was depressed and going through bipolar and what you call all that time, anxiety and all of that. So at that time, I was in a serious survival mode. And make a long story short, my son, my 14, and I got into it. And I understand, I get it now. He was crying out for help because I was taking things out on him, and they got, uh, my children was in DFACS for 2 years. But anyway, we never, we always kept in touch. So, but they had been with their father, and they did get with their father, and they've been with him ever since. And we are still a family. We be together, we talk, but we go through our healing. We're still going through our healing. So I'm saying all of this is because of my second husband. We only dated 2 months and was married for 10 years. And both of the men are great men, but it was me because of I wasn't diagnosed then. I didn't know what was going on with me. Even my mom, everybody else was like, well, my mom was like, something wrong, you need to go see about yourself, because I was snap, had bad mood swings and all of this. So it's really something. And my recovery story is suicidal and homelessness. And I just lost my mom 2 years ago. Like I said in the other videos, I'm still grieving. She was 86, wonderful life. I helped take care of her, till I couldn't do it anymore. And she was in a nursing home, and she always remembered me with dementia. She died of dementia, had COPD, and blah blah blah. That's gonna be another video. And my mind is racing. Thank you for being patient, because my mouth can't keep up with my mind. That's part of the bipolar and everything. But do you see all of this that I'm going through right here? We don't know who we're going to meet. We don't know even when we meet in person. My ex-husband, second ex-husband, my girl's father, we was married for 7 years. Okay. And that was a little bit domestic violence. We went through some stuff there. It was experience. I married a man with 5 kids, and I helped, with three of them. But that's going to be another content, another video. So, um, with my second ex-husband, we both married for different reasons. He was ready to get out the house, and I needed a place to stay. You know, I'm getting a call coming in. I'm sorry. I needed a place to stay, and I was just in survival mode. So I was able to work it where he and I rather, we got together, but he wanted to that we, have you know, have intercourse, whatever. And I said, well, honey, you're gonna have to put a ring on this before we get out. And I looked at another video, and I always do your research too. And if you 50 and over, what are you waiting on? Coach, you got a story too. You need to come on, like I say, said before in my other video, and I might have said it before then, but um, I end up having my own show. He was one of the top producers, but we were still struggling, and um, we just lived off of his income, and it was, it was, we lived below our means, okay, and we took care of things. He was a great man. We got we accomplished a lot with his income. I was more like a housewife, and we would get my children once when they came out of defects for 2 years. They was with their dad, and all of this in Atlanta because we're born and raised in Atlanta, but I'm in Carrollton, Georgia, so I'm an hour away. And mm, I tell you, so you're taking the chances even when you meet him in person, okay? And he had no idea, you know, who, what, how would I would have been, and vice versa. But he was a hardworking guy, very smart, very nice gentleman. But I was just so out of order. I really didn't know how to be a wife. But watched my mom and grandmom and them, I could see it because that's all I was around. Older people, I was the only child. So, but anyway, we got married, and like I said, after uh, we went through 10 years of it. We had good times. We did some internet radio and just carried on within the radio thing, like what's going on here. We was on YouTube back in the day. We used to hear about you can get paid and all that, but I didn't know how to work it with the road. We were just trying to do so much. Back then, my all the stuff I was trying to do just didn't work out. I was trying to do things like without working on a job because I knew I got triggered a lot. Even now, I just have to protect my space in my circle. I have to be very aware of my circle. So we we had some bad days. I was off the chain. That was my whole. I was just depressed. I went into a virtual world, living my second life on a computer, and then the last part, the second part, 5 years of our marriage, it was just going downhill, and I was doing crazy stuff. I mean, I was just whatever was going on with me. I was just, hmm, I was just out of it. I was so depressed because of my children. I would cry most of the night, but I would fix his dinner, have his dinner ready. But I got into such a depression where I only left out of there about twice a month, just only to do the radio show. We was on the bus then in Atlanta, and we end up moving in extended stay, which was right next to his job. But anyway, he ended up doing everything. But it was good training for him because he was sheltered at home. But he would always get to go to work. He had other siblings, but they had that mental illness in their family real deep as well. And we, our, you know, um, intimacy started going down the hill as well. And to again make a long story short, he ended up. I found out 2 years later after I was taking care of my mom and everything. Then I was taking care of my uncle all at the same time, but I was able to be compensated through his estate, to take care of them because I was trying to get my thing off the ground. I deal with abstract art. It's therapy for me, and I that's what I do. now, still for 10 years to keep me grounded. And other than, God, it it was an experience. And I found out after we divorced, then 2 months later, he remarried. So now it's been over 10 years with the second wife. She's older, and I was older than him too. I was 3 years older, but I think she's much, much older now because he's in his 50s, and I think she's past her 60s. But whatever, I'm just glad he's happy, and all of that. His mom asked me, she said, "Why do he always get married? Like to be married?" And I didn't think about it then, but after a while, when through my meditation and just over the years, the Lord revealed to me and said, he loved that motherly thing, because his mom did everything. She was so sweet to him. She was very nice to me, but his daddy never spoke to me the whole 10 years we was married. And I mean, it affected me so bad. And then later I would say stuff about it, but now I just talk about it, and I'm healed from that. And I think 2 years ago I went to visit them because I was living like 5 minutes in the area, and she said I went over there. I said, let me go over there, and she was like, Paula, what you doing over here? How you know where we live? And I said, I still had the address and everything. And the dad walked right by us in the house. He didn't say nothing. And I was telling another friend of mine, they said, I would have said, hey, how you doing? I said, but everything just flowed the way it was. I wasn't there to cause no trouble. And me and his brother and I, which was my brother-in-law, we was real cool, but he was very smart. High IQ, I'm telling you the truth, had 2 degrees, but they just didn't know how to live life, outside. They had to always be in the, just make, they just did, they wouldn't be able to live by themselves. Let's say it like that. And the other one, he didn't drive, but my ex did. And we had to get rid of the car because we had to really live below our means for it to really work with one income. Because I was doing the part of trying to get my thing going, just like how I'm doing now. But I got better insight about it. And I was just doing so much, but I just got so depressed because nothing was working at the time. And I was just so lost. So I ended up just living in a virtual world, just being this avatar. And it's more like it was a dating site, meeting people. And he and I was growing further apart. So I would get married on the virtual world and all that. This is another video. That's gonna be another video talking about the virtual world, my experience. But I came out of a strict home, and I'm taking all full accountability. I'm like putting no excuse. Like I said, I'm gonna be very vulnerable and discreet. I'm gonna just be real with it. And I never smoked or drank. And but when I got 18, I got wild, just going to the clubs and leaving out with, I'm 58. So back then it wasn't really that bad, but just leaving out with different, you know, guys and stuff. And then that's where I met my son's dad. He was up there on the speaker dancing. At the time they was weird, just like Curtis Blow. Oh boy, he that's who he kind of looked like. And I've always had a crush on Curtis Blow, but I love that curl with that shag at the time. So when I walked in with my friend, I was like, ooh, he was just dancing all up on the speaker. He was like, and all I saw was the back of him. But I said, ooh, that's gonna be my baby daddy right there. And I be dog. He was the bartender. And the rest is history. So we exchanged numbers and everything, and he served us drinks or whatever. I wouldn't, like I said, I'm not a drinker, but I just went on just to, so he was living in what you call it, a rooming house at the time, and of course he's married now. He's a minister, and I'm happy for they. I've been praying, making I'm just praying and wishing them all the best, So I wasn't like that at first now, but hey, so you're supposed to grow with wisdom as you grow older, but some of us I don't know what to say. But anyway, we lost contact. I think a year or something. He was from Chicago, so evidently he was already running from getting getting someone pregnant, and had I think two daughters, and I remember him showing me a picture of the little girl, but they grown now, just like my son, so they connected. And but anyway, when I ran back into him, he was still bartender at another um club that was in the Camerton Plaza, and this was back in the 80s after I too haven't too long graduated. I was very young, of course, and we were staying off of Camerton and Delowe. If you familiar with Atlanta, we all from Atlanta, and so we um we ran back into each other, and I said, "What happened? You didn't come?" He said, "I lost your number," because I put it on a napkin. So of course. So we hooked back up, and he was talking about the Lord and talking about how he want to get married. Yeah, he did all of that. But when I went back to the what you call it with him to his room that same day, we ran back into each other. I ended up staying there for about 2 days with him. My mom was working at night, and right to this day, I guess she took it to her grave, but she thought I got pregnant at our home in our townhouse. And I said, no, he never been there. And she just tend to, you know how sometimes we gonna believe what we gonna believe. So that's why I know my children. I said, yeah, you have to take their word. So, but I got pregnant in his uh um I got pregnant in his place in rooming house, and we there was a message coming through. I'm sorry, and he was still looking for other jobs and everything, and so he asked me to could I fill him out, help him fill him out and stuff, and he had fed me and everything. We had you know uh we got intimate and stuff, and I was like, well, what, why, you know you couldn't fill it out. And so at the time, um, he just had problems about some, you know, dealing with reading and stuff like that, So, like you say, I met him at the club. So, but when I told him I was pregnant, honey, please, he denied. He said, they ain't my child. So, make a long story short, at 1 year old, we did the DNA test. The state did it. And I still had other friends, but it came out that it was he was the dad, but I wasn't involved. I just had other friends. So people that I had went to summer school with and stuff like that. And so somehow he thinking that it was the other person's, uh, it was his child and all that mess. And so they both had to end up taking did the test, and the other one he didn't come out the father, but he did. Then when my son got older, I wanted him to at least get to know him and stuff, and I told him his name. He looked him up on Facebook, and so his dad wife was like, I want to really make sure, and so they did the DNA, the test again, and it came out, he's still the dad. So my son ended up riding with them to Chicago, and he met his family, and he was already cool with his sisters on his dad's side. I'm like, okay, okay. And I was like, well, I'm glad you did, because my son and I was still going through some healing. Excuse me. And that was a hook. my son say, my dad was like a one night stand. Cause I tell him, my mom told me some things, but when I got, like really grown, she opened up to some things. But I'm sure my father died when I was 5, and my mother didn't want no other man over me. But she got engaged, but she changed her mind. She just dated. So, um, but anyway, that's gonna be another video. But yeah, it was really like it turned out to be a hookup, of course, but I was serious and I thought he was serious about getting married because I grew up in church. My grandfather was a Baptist reverend. So I was trying to do it right way. I'm young, 19, because I had my son at 21, so he's 37 now, and I got his children, which is my grandchildren, is, 16 and 12, and then he had my son has a baby one that's 5, going on 5. But my girls, they just doing their thing right now, and my girls are 29 and 23. So, but anyway, it wasn't a day now, but I always was used to meeting people in person. So, and it's the same scenario if you meet them in person or whatever. um the day nap, you still got to learn them and everything. And so I've had some guys I met on there, but and by me going through what I was going through, it'll be 2 years that I've been here in November next month. It'll be 2 years. Okay, so the first year that I was here, uh I broke my celibacy, but I'm back to celibate now, and I'm not. Mm-mm. I made an oath, whatever I made to God. I don't want no more soul ties, and getting married for the wrong reason, or getting married just to be intimate. That's not gonna work. So that you just learn. But anyway, I fell into meeting this guy on the app, and I am a free spirit, but this was buck wild crazy. We talked 3 days. He invited me to his job, and I said, I'm not gonna be able to come to your job. I didn't have the gas money, and plus I need work on my vehicle. He worked 2 jobs, and then he tried to take care of his son, and he's been through a divorce, so she remarried. So it seemed like he didn't have time. I don't think he had time for us being, intimate, whatever. So we never did get to go out, and that's where I messed up at by end up being intimate with him. Then I was like, when you gonna take me out? And I'm telling y'all, please, younger people, I guess, what is it, 18 and up? Listen, what I'm saying. We learn from each other, but we have been on here this earth a little longer than y'all in your 30s and 40s. But we some of y'all been through some stuff we ain't never been through. So, but anyway, kudos to the generation Z, but we're Generation X. Mm. But anyway, we wanted to see each other so bad, and that's gonna be another video. Lust. It wasn't nothing but lust. Okay, he were 49, and I was 57. Like I said, last year. Because I turned 59 in March. So yeah, it was last year, middle part of last year. Yeah. It was around Thanksgiving, yeah, going to the holidays of last year, the end of last year. But anyway, um, God had already taken me from my job, 2022, working with mental health, having peers. And so for that year, I was just mentoring peers. I was just talking to them, doing phone uh, uh, mentoring and counseling, different hours, wherever they lived out the state. They could have been 2 hours ahead of me, 2 hours behind. So it was like a 24/7. Just making sure they on the right path, being focused, taking care of what they doing. I would check on them like twice or 3 times a week, and we just were flowing. Some I allowed to take advantage of me. I didn't have no boundaries, and so when I started having boundaries, of course, some of the ladies got mad, and God took them out my life anyway because it was sucking. It started sucking. Not saying that I just got too involved, too close. One of my peers, we was kind of digging each other. I met the mom and the family, but he ended up back on drug. He was on drugs. He was in Georgia Regional. He was in the mental hospital, for a lot of years. And that's what I met him at my job. As a peer specialist, just talking to him 1-on-1 in groups and stuff. And he had the beautiful, pretty eyes. And so, but yeah, I end up having 4th of July with them, and it wasn't nothing where we never got involved intimate, nothing like that. It was just just I was his age of his mom, really, because he was 45 and she had him real young. So, but anyway, he has fell back and not taking his meds, and now he's homeless now. He was under supervision for a whole year on the road with her, and then he did so good because I would be calling, checking, talking to him, and then it was he was at home by himself a lot, so he was off supervision, and I picked him up one day, and we hung out with my friends and everything, and he treated us out because he, was on disability as well. But his mom is over his money and stuff. So we had a nice time. But now it's saddened me, and that season is over. He's back in the street of Atlanta and from New York, and he went to New York. He was a family person, loved his grandma. I met him all, sister, whatever, but sister within the ministry. They really believed, they went to church and stuff, and it was beautiful. He had children that, he hadn't had in touch with them in a while. So this is what, I deal with. And the dating app is just like you meet, we'll say, it's nice to meet somebody in the grocery store. It used to be the church, but church is like some churches like a club, I guess. And and just meet them, in nice places. I've had I knew someone that met someone at club and they got married. Hey, teach his own. So the guy that I did get intimate with, we first time we met, he came here. And I had a little dinner fix and everything, and I didn't think nothing else of it. I guess he said, I'm already full. He didn't know me from Jump Street. I just fixed some kind of little refried beans with rice or something. I don't know what it was, but I set the table up, had a little nice candle stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is I'm doing? So anyway, it was like he had to go to work, in the morning. So I had told him he can come on and spend the night. And this is our first time meeting. And so I was like, God, but I let my children know I was gonna have company. There's somebody I knew for a little, couple of days. He did too. So everything went well, but he bought brought plenty of condom, so we end up getting intimate and stuff, and it became a hookup, intimate thing. I think twice. He came here and he was looking all around and stuff, and I'm like, how long you been here? And I'm like, because I'm funny about my kitchen and bathroom. I'm just funny. I don't like a nasty house, no cluttered, nasty house. Now, I might have stuff kind of, space in a corner right there, little stuff packed because I don't have enough closet space. But I love it. I don't have enough closet space, but I really love my place because I was in my truck for 3 years. God is my witness over my mother's ashes. So, of course, the next time he tried to have me to come, I never knew his work schedule, but he would always text me. And then on the weekend, he's with his son and all this stuff. And I'm like, where do I fit in at? You know? So I really was I was really digging him, but then, and on the picture he looked cute, but when I see, like you say, seen him in person, we did, FaceTime each other first, and I was like, oh okay. You're like, oh okay, and so, and um, then I went to his place. He gave me gas money, but it was just enough for my truck, $20 to get there. And by the time I got back home, which was what is an hour drive to Forest Park, I was on E. So he was talking like, yeah, I'm gonna air fry some wings and blah 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 blah. So I was saving my appetite for the end, and then I was wearing something where I was dressed cute, because the only time we saw each other was that night and got intimate. And then I had my cute little colored wig on, 'cause I love to wear different colored wigs, as you can see in my video. And I got to the house. He said something was wrong with his car, but I guess he really didn't want me to know what kind of car he was driving. He was acting weird. But anyway, I said, did you get the effort? He said, my car, I had to get, somebody look at my car. I think he was just lying because he didn't really get to cook. He was going to air fry some. And I walked up in the apartment, and a friend of mine, of course, I told someone, said, when you walked up in there, you should have turned right back around. But I walked up in there, honey. I said, how long you been here living here? 8. He said 8 years. It was a townhouse. And I said, definitely look like a bachelor pad, because when I saw the sofa set in the living room, I said, okay, it's cool. But when I had walked in, inside the door, when I walked inside, I didn't even look at I looked side eye. I cut my eyes over there at the kitchen. I said, Lord have mercy. I was scared, And I said, well, what happened about you cooking? So, and I'm glad it worked out that he didn't. He said, oh, I already ate. And I said, but I saved my appetite. And he said, oh, you hungry? So he ended up ordering a pizza. So I ate 2 pieces, no, 3, because I was hungry. And then he poured me some kind of juice. I saw him pour it. It was some kind of the Hawaii, the punch. So, honey, we were looking at TV, and then he was looking at his phone, and we took pictures. I said, let's take pictures. Took pictures together, hugged up on the couch, and I sent it to my children just in case, I didn't want nothing to happen to me. And we got upstairs, going on up. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I held my urination. I was scared to. That place was so nasty. I'm like, and when I went in the bathroom, it was nasty and all that stuff. I say, shh. We got involved. It was good, but I couldn't even stay the night. I think he got pissed off because he said you can stay up and look at whatever you want to look at, YouTube or whatever you be looking at. I said after we did what we did and everything, and because he had to go to work that morning and stuff. It was just all about just getting what he getting and go to work. You know, they don't got, they not interested in it. Most of them on the app And ladies, I'm not gonna leave out the ladies because one time one of my friends showed me his app, and them women, I ain't judging. I am not judging. Okay, I can't judge. I can't judge at all. I might as well should have had my cash app up there too. I'm telling you the truth, really. I'm telling you the truth. First time I ever said that, but um, it was only just good, you know, intimacy. And I told him I was ready to go home. I told him, so I said I wanted to beat the traffic. He said, "Ain't no traffic going toward west or whatever." I said, "But yeah, but I want to go home." He said, "Oh, okay." So he walked me to my truck and everything, and I had took my wig, I put on my bonnet. I was tired, child. And then when I got home, I was trying to let him know I got home. He didn't even care, I guess. He didn't answer the phone. Like I said, I didn't know what time. I don't even know what his off days were. He was always working, had all these crazy hours, and when he would text me all that time, but when he got home, he never talked to me on the phone. He would always just text. And so when I did get him on the phone and we talked, he said, "If my son calling in, I got to get off the phone." I said, "Why is it at night? You try to do all this texting, but at night you can't talk to me when you get home." He said, "My son is calling." Okay. So even though nobody didn't live there with him, and then another time I talked with him, uh, you know, we really I got into it, text him some rough stuff. I was so angry with him because, he was acting strange and he always tried to get me to come over there, but he didn't like coming over here because of, the roads was winding, it's a little country town. So, and which I love because I needed to grieve peacefully, allow myself to grieve. And I'm sick of Atlanta too much as, I'm born and raised in Atlanta. So I'm just ready, to go on. So I said, I'm not coming back over there. Yeah. We never did, hook back up from that, but he was still trying to get me to come over there. He would call me from work, but then when he got home, I don't know what happened. It was weird. And I kept calling, and then he put me on block or something. So evidently at night, he must have somebody over there. But he really believed in his protection, okay? So he would always, when he finished and stuff, he would go to the, he would take it off, whatever, and all that. Because I'm going to tell you something. I made sure I put on my app, it came to me at the last minute, the one I'm on now. I put on there, I love a simple life, and I said, "Well, I'm living with bipolar 2 disorder." And I said, "I'm an advocate for mental health." So then I had my pictures and stuff with the wig on them, without the wig and everything. And some had started blocking me. And then some still leaving messages and stuff. And I said, I wonder if they looking at mine. And I did get to talk to 3 of them and said, I'm living with blah, 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 blah. And they asked me some questions. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. So it was basically, one guy told me, "Well, send me a picture." And stuff. I said, "I already sent you pictures." He just seen my face and he showed me a picture of him standing up, just with clothes. He said, but I said, "You already seen the picture of my profile that I'm standing up. That's my profile pic. I was in a room making perfume and I was standing up then." And he would yawning out on the phone. This is the second time I had talked with this guy, and I blocked him. I'm gonna send him a picture, but you could feel and see that that's what they was about, so they can get their groove on while on the phone and stuff. So, and then the other one was the older guy, what they call him, Silver Fox. and he was so handsome, and he was like 65 or so. So once he realized, I told him about the bipolar stuff, and he was like, okay, okay. So once he realized that, he kept throwing hints, and we were flirting and all that. At the moment, I was in that mood, vulnerable mood, we flirting. And then he still called me back that night, and he wanted to. I'm in a different mode then, because I be up at night. So then he wanted to talk on the phone, and he doing all this deep breathing, the older guy. And so I told him I'm not in that space. I don't. I mean, like, why have you said anything about meeting me? And like we can meet, eat some ice cream or something like that, He said, well, I got to get to know you for I'm not ready to meet you yet. But you ready to, do all that, whatever you want to do, phone, instant on the phone. And he was like, well, we grown. And see, that's another thing. People say when they grown. But then once he realized that, we turned it into talking about God, and then he thought he had some people going on in Florida. That's when that was going on. The tornado and stuff was going on. We was talking about his family. He had some family there. So then, and this just a couple days ago, and then he was like, we talked, but we was just talking, just general, because we had stuff in common about sugar diabetes and high blood pressure and all what the older people, what the elders, what we go through. And like I said, I thought we were cool, but after that, he just texts, "Hey, how you doing? You okay?" And I noticed, when I called, he wouldn't answer the phone, so he would just text, text, text. So I decided, within the 3 days we talked, the day before yesterday, I just blocked him. I blocked all of them. So the thing is, I want to say, because I've been on here a long time, but it's really interesting because I'm vulnerable and I'm just being myself, for you all to listen and we learn from each other. But I just want to say, I know the different things, the different little tricks, where they say on there casual, just being friends, and that's what that's all I want, just being friends. They say that, but yet it's a hookup because they'll call, and then the next one, it's the ones of the Nigerian and the Jamaicans. They are just trying to hook up, and see that's another stipulation. That's another thing that is a red flag for me is they, you know, they got their game on. Okay. So I had called, they sent the number and I called him. And then when he called back, it was 10:30 at night. I said, well, it's late. Oh, okay, okay. I said, I called you earlier. He was like, well, yeah, my sister had my phone and I lost my phone. Oh, okay. Well, I'll talk to you later. What time is a good time to call you? I said, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Click and block. I'm not interested. No, you think you gonna call me at night so you can get your little groove on the phone. Intimacy, okay? And so that's a third um, red flag. The first is the hookup, the way they put it, casual. Then they want a picture to go with that, and then calling at a certain time and all this other stuff. I'm gonna write that down, and I got a part two to this. I'm gonna write down the red flags. I can only say what I went through as a woman, as a lady, okay. And in my profiles and stuff, I'm fully dressed. All my pictures, I'm fully dressed. I showing no cleavage and all that stuff. No. So anyway, I say all this, and I'm getting ready to end it. Another 50 minutes of video. This has really been something really good. And please don't forget to see the other one that if you're 50 and over, What are you waiting on? Okay. So anyway, to close it out, I put that on my profile saying that I live with uh, bipolar 2 disorder. And it's funny to me because I'm just seeing every time, see, I'm just seeing as they looking back at my profile because, like I said, I added some pictures and stuff, which was the way I looked at now. But the first one was with my wig on and stuff. I like the different color little wig, tried to taste it, a little burgundy and and the little brown wig. So anyway, I noticed a couple of them, had deleted me or whatever they did, but I deleted them. I blocked all of them. But the ones that calling my every time I call somebody back, and I mean, if it's in the app, I'll look back at